here with my new plant baby, Sir Leafy. He is the cutest. Definitely brightens up my place. I love it so much. From tomorrow for 7 days, there's going to be a readathon called SUMMERWEEN, and you've guessed it, it sounds like Halloween, summer Halloween. So it's just a week-long readathon where you get to read spooky books and get in the feel of Halloween. It doesn't even have to be Halloween, just a spooky feel, autumny kind of vibe going on. It is hosted by Gabby Reads and Olivia Reads a Latte. Ever since I finished reading Stephen King's Pet Sematary, I'm definitely in the spooky reading mood. Today is also a kind of gloomy, rainy day, so I'm just here chilling in my little gown. I just cooked a delicious pasta. It's a recipe made by Chrissy Teigen, and I also made my coffee, my Dalgona coffee, and I'm just having a really nice chill time at home. And so I thought I'll just start talking about the readathon because I'm very excited. Alright, so for the readathon there are prompts, and I wrote it down in my reading journal, so I'm ready. I'm gonna try to combine them. The first prompt is read a book with a creepy cover. For this one, I picked a book that has been recommended to me by one of my favorite booktubers. His name is Noah from Unbound Bookworm, and he has a video on this, so I'll link it down below as well. It's called The Troop by Nick Cutter. Let me show you the cover. So I am reading this on Scribd. It kind of has two covers, so I'm confused. So there's this one, which is like really red and creepy, but if you go to the main page, it kind of shows it like this. That's a spooky, like a foggy island kind of feel. So they're both spooky to me, so I picked this one and I have been wanting to read it. I have started this. I'm only 8% through, but it's already creepy. It is already like creepy in a weird way, so I'm loving it so much. It's set in Canada, I believe, and they're in the wilderness with Scoutmaster Tim Riggs and his little boys. They're out in the Canadian wilderness for a weekend camping trip, and things just kind of start happening. I guess that's all I know about that. The next prompt is read a paranormal supernatural book. For this one, I am doing audiobook, so I have one audiobook in my readathon. And again, this is on Scribd. It's called The Whisper Man by Alex North. I don't know much about this book, honestly, but there's like a guy called Whisper Man out in this neighborhood, and he abducts kids by whispering their name, and I'm not sure what that means. And again, this one too, I've started listening to it, and I'm only 8% through, but I love the audiobook. Very, very good reading voice. Okay, and the next prompt is read a book in the dark. That's super easy. I think I will read or listen on Scribd, one of those books in the dark when I'm going to sleep, maybe. The last two prompts I'm combining together. So it's read a book with a haunted house, and read a book recommended by the hosts. For this one, they both recommended Mexican Gothic, and I know you've all heard of this book. It's been on the internet, everyone's talking about it, and I have been wanting to read it. Can I be honest though? It's not because like people are telling me it's a good book. It's because I am obsessed with anything Mexican at this moment, because I'm studying Spanish on my own, and I'm specifically studying Mexican Spanish. I'm just super interested in Mexican culture, Mexican Spanish, anything Mexican. So the fact that this has the word Mexican in here, and I believe it's set in Mexico, is what kind of drew me into this. So those are the 3 books that I will be reading for this readathon. Let's get started.
time. He'll say,
Good morning, everyone. I had a lovely morning this morning with my fiance. We had a movie date over a video call and we watched a movie together, and it was nice having a little date together. Reading update. So I have been listening to Whisper Man on audiobook while I'm walking everywhere around here, and it is spooky. I really like the narrator in the audio book. Yeah, so far not much has happened yet, but it is getting spooky because there was a night when the little boy, like there's a single dad who moved into the town with his little boy, and the little boy spooked out because there's a man outside his window whispering things to him. So that is spooky, or so he says, but we haven't seen this man, the Whisper Man, so we don't know what else is happening yet, but it's really spooky. And I'm also reading on my iPad the troop is also getting spooky. I'm still on page 90, but there is a man who he looks like he's starving, and there's something inside him that's moving. We're not quite sure what it is, but he's constantly hungry. And that's all I know. That's all I'm gonna say for now. I hope you guys are having a good SUMMERWEEN start, because I believe it has started, or wherever you are in the world, I think it started for you too. So I hope you guys are having a good week. Yes, and I keep you updated. My only goal for this today, it's my last summer break day. I'm so sad. I go back to work tomorrow. So yeah, my only goal today is the rest of the day is to just read, do a little bit of art, and just read and just chill. I've been back at work, so I feel really tired, which is why I haven't really been talking with you all. But I have been reading slowly but surely. The troop, I am on about 40% of the way through, page 250, so it's slower than I want. For the Whisper Man, I am listening to the audiobook as I am walking to school. I'm 32% in, which isn't much. Oh my. For Back to the Troop, things have been happening. We're finding out more about these weird things that are happening on this island and the people. Definitely not what I was expecting, because I really didn't know much about this story, only that it was very gory and it might be gross and scary, which it is. The theme throughout this whole story, I feel like, is hunger. Hunger is what is the beginning of this terror that happens throughout this island. If someone's hungry, things are about to go down, and it's not going to be a good time. Definitely agree with some people saying that it gives you kind of Lord of the Fly vibes going on. You know, boys, 14-year-old boys stuck on this island, and they're panicking because crazy things are happening. Each boy has a thing going on as well, so you kind of find out more about each kid behind the scene as well. Interesting that they're all going through something. So yeah, that's where I am with the troop. I'm liking it for sure, and interested to find out how this book will end. The Whisper Man, it is more of a slow burner for me, I guess, because it's like more like police involved, so there's more of a mystery. They're trying to figure things out with clues, so it is kind of slower for me. Like the Whisper Man is he used to lure kids out by whispering outside their windows and kill them, murder them. he is in jail now, and this was years before, and now the same kind of tragedy is happening in this town, and they're trying to figure out if it's a copycat murderer or if it's a accomplice, or what it is. We don't know. So but anyways, that's where I am with SUMMERWEEN readathon. We'll see if I can finish at least one book. Fingers crossed. Ooh. I'm still downstairs, not upstairs in my bed, but I'm gonna attempt to try to read in the dark down here. And I'm really scared, kind of. I don't know. There's just something about being in this big open space in the darkness. So I'm gonna turn off, that's my computer light. I will turn off the computer as well. And I'm going to try to read a little bit in this dark. Oh my gosh, I look creepy as well. Quick little update. I'm on the last 100 pages of the troop. It's been hard to vlog while reading this book because it's getting gory and really gross. It's crazy. It is definitely a crazy horror. People have been mentioning that you have to watch out for this book and, you know, all that stuff. So there's been warnings. So I knew it was coming, but still I didn't realize it keeps getting worse and worse. Like, it's just so crazy. Yes, so that's what I'm dealing with right now. It's like half of me just like wants to just finish it all so I can move on to the next horror. Another half of me is like, oh, it's so gross. I don't know if I could like binge read all of this, but I'm going to try to read the last 100 pages. Let's get it over with. Okay, I finally finished the troop. Wow, what a book. It's a lot to think about. I am glad that in the book the author does explain the why and the what about these things that are happening on the island through interviews and reports by journalists and stuff. So you do get to find out more about the reasons of what's happening on the island. I did care for the characters, especially near the end. My favorite character is Newton. He's like the chubby kid, kind of reminded me of Piggy from Lord of the Flies. He's a chubby kid, but he is the know-it-all. Like, he knows the wilderness and how to survive and all that stuff, and he's very smart, but like the other boys pick on him for that. Just a warning, there are cases of animal cruelty on top of other gory scenes in the book, which I had to skip over. I couldn't stand reading them because the author does kind of go into details about what happens in these scenes. I think this book did its job in the sense that I think good horror books does make you feel these feelings that I'm feeling right now of disgust and like just disbelief and fear. There are many scenes where I had goosebumps on my skin, and again, some pages I had to skip over because it was just so so terrifying and gross. So yeah, in that sense, I think it did its job really well. There's a little bit of time still in the readathon. That book did take longer than I hoped, because I did start going back to work, and it was hard to read during the day, and also it was a book that I had to kind of put down sometimes because it was gross in a lot of the scenes. So but anyways, I did finish that book. I'm going to keep listening to The Whisperman on audiobook, and then I'm going to finally start Mexican Gothic. I am excited that I'm actually going to start this as well. So I think I won't finish this in the readathon, but but I'm excited I do get started. But right now I need to take a walk and kind of clear my head. Maybe listen to The Whisperman, we'll see. Yeah, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, so I read a chapter last night of Mexican Gothic. So far, again, I don't know much about this story actually. I just know that everyone's talking about this book. So far there is a girl called Noemi. Sounds like Naomi, but it's Noemi. And her cousin is asking for her help. She's saying that her house is haunted and her husband's trying to poison her. There's a ghost or something like that. So Noemi's on her way to go help her cousin. And that's all I know for now. Interesting. I'm not quite sure what to expect from this book, honestly. But I'm going to keep reading. Hello. Summerween is over and I have been trying so hard to finish my third book for the readathon, but work started and then I didn't read the whole week, and I was trying to read a lot yesterday and this morning, but it looks like I won't finish this third book. But I kind of have a feeling that I love this book, so I'm just gonna stop this vlog here so I can upload it and share it before it's like a month late. So this is my wrap up. So for the prompt, read a book with a creepy cover, I read The Troop. It was easily the most grotesque and terrifying book I've ever read. And it's crazy that it all happened in this one little island in the wilderness with these boys, these poor boys. They don't know what's happening. Yeah, it's just so crazy. I gave it 4 stars. I couldn't give it 5 stars just because it was so gross in some scenes. Like, again, the animal cruelty scenes I did not really like, where it was described in detail what was happening. It definitely was crazy how like paranoia and fear, like what it can do to people and like turn them inhumane kind of. So I definitely like that. It was very, very scary for sure. Oh, and then that was also for Read a Book in the Dark. I also read that in the dark a few times. Read a paranormal / supernatural book. I was listening to The Whisperman on Scribed, but I DNF'd it around 50%. It was kind of getting too boring and there were too many backstories that were being told on top of the main thriller and crime happening. There was like the detective side of the story, and then there was the story of the single dad with his son. And there were just too many things happening. I think maybe if I read it, it would be better instead of just listening to it, because I would only listen to it when I was walking to work or walking my dog, and so I would kind of forget things, and it was getting very confusing. It wasn't as engaging as The Troop or the other book that I was reading, so I kind of just DNF'd it. So that was kind of sad. Also read a book with a haunted house, and read a book recommended by the host. I am reading The Mexican Gothic. So I'm more than halfway through. See, I'm almost done, and I already know I love this book. I'm kind of sad that there was no Spanish in the book, because I was hoping there'll be like Spanish phrases or Spanish words in here, because I am studying Spanish, so I was kind of excited about that. I don't feel the Mexican aspect of it, which I kind of am bummed out about. I love the main character, Noemi. She's very stubborn, hard-headed, and she wants to get her way, and she's very determined to help her sick cousin Catalina. We're not sure what's happening with her yet in where I am, but things are happening because there's some voices that can be heard, and she thinks the house is haunted. We find out more about the family's past, where she's staying at, like the family that her cousin married into. They have a dark history and a dark past, and then there's just lots of secrets in the house, so we don't know yet what's happening. But I already love this book. It's very, very engaging. It's just that I have been so busy and so tired to finish this. So yes, this was my Summerween vlog. I definitely enjoyed taking part in this readathon, because I was really in the mood for horror books. I definitely feel ready for fall now. I am just so tired of the hot, humid summer, so I'm just ready for the cool, crisp autumn breeze. I'm pretty proud of myself for finishing at least even one book. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. I will see you next time.